We did it.
Indeed. We earned our victory.
So that's it, I guess. Class 7's over.
Here, at least.
It's been a year I doubt I'll ever forget.
Yeah, it really has.
I had so much fun! Huh? Why am I...
Milliam.
Are you?
What's wrong with me? I only came here 'cause Gramps ordered me to. So why am I... It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you at all.
Regardless of why you came to be here, you're as much a member of Class 7 as anyone else.
But there's no shame in crying when you feel sad. Yeah, that goes for us too.
Don't get me to cry, please. I'm begging you. I did not want to cry today.
Come on, guys. Knock it off.
They're not the only ones who want to.
Yeah, I want to too.
What a way for everything to end. There's no point in pretending you don't want to cry too.
Yeah, you're right.
They all care about each other so much.
Well, I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, but even still.
You guys aren't even in class 7. I'm not saying you can't be sad, but still.
I swear, why do I have to feel like...
Oh, even the cat's crying. Finally she has feelings, or at least shows them.
They've probably been bottling this up for quite some time.
I'm sure they have. And yet they've never let it show. They just kept looking forward.
To the very end, each of them walked the path they chose for themselves.
They're a real good group of kids.
Oh, Crow. Oh, man. Plot twist, we have another boss in another dungeon. Okay, no, it's departure day.
Well, I guess this is goodbye for now.
Take care of yourself, okay?
I promise to write to you when I can.
Thanks. I wish all of you the best too. Although, to be honest, I get the feeling we'll meet again before long.
So do I.
Yeah, there's still Cold Steel 3 and 4. We'll totally meet again.
Besides, the Empire is smaller to us than it is to most people.
Yeah, if I use Lammy, I can be anywhere in no time.
This isn't goodbye as much as it is
See you again soon.
This is a really nice way to do the scene, like just panning over to every single Class 7 member and having them all say their words. Very nice.
In the meantime, we all have our share of duties to fulfill.
Yep. But as soon as they're done, well, you know.
Of course. Here's hoping our time apart treats every single one of us well.
And just look at those lino flowers bloom.
This is truly a season of new beginnings. I suppose I might miss this scenery.
I will not miss the cat.
Okay, what's up with you guys?
Instructor?
For all that you've done for us this past year,
Thank you very much.
We wouldn't be here ready to start a new stage in our lives were it not for you.
Your teaching methods may have seemed unorthodox or even unreasonable at times, but it's hard to argue with the results.
we thought it was only right to take the time and thank you before we said goodbye.
So, we decided to surprise you.
Still, given the opportunity, I would be happy to learn more from you someday.
You kids are just...
Oh,
Oh, now look what you've done.
you got Sarah.
I was planning on being all cool and mature until the very end.
Yeah, it's impossible around Class 7.
I was doing so well, too.
Guys, relax. There's a Cold Steel 3 and 4. We're fine.
You lost sight of both cool and mature a long time ago.
Looks like our surprise was an A+ success.
I think we might have gone a little overboard, actually.
Maybe all this was a little too cruel, Emma.
It certainly seems that way. But I thought it would have been derelict of me as class president if we didn't do anything.
Oh, so this was your idea, was it?
And it begins. What a wonderful way to bring everything to a close.
It's not to a close, though. We still have 2 other games. Oh, is that it? That's the ending? I'm gonna hold off until the credits. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait till actual credits come. Oh, dude, this is the theme that I played with Low Luther Freya. I will say that fight had really good music. Oh, it's done. It's finally done. I don't want to say finally as if, like, oh, I hated the game. But this was quite a long playthrough. I say finally because, I'm going to talk about this really quick. It really just felt like this isn't really a bad thing. There's definitely times where games pad out the end game. I definitely liked the epilogue, but there were times where it just, there were minor parts where I'm just like, dude, this is all great, but I want it to be over. Like, it was just, Cold Steel 1 had similar things where, like, it just, like, the very end of the game was interesting. The whole stuff building up to, like, how it ended with the cliffhanger and how, like, Trista was invaded. It all was good. But at the same time, it was like, can this be over yet? Like, it just padded out just a tad bit. This game was kind of the same. And I love that there was an epilogue, don't get me wrong. The epilogue was phenomenal because if not for the epilogue, we would have been cliffhangered. This ending does so much better, and not just because it's not cliffhangery, but this does so much better. So, yeah, a bit like, yeah, can it just end? But, I don't know. Either way, I enjoyed the epilogue. I also like the ending, because now I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about, like, not playing Cold Steel 3 right after. This is a much satisfying ending. This is a great way to be like, oh, like, it's over, but there's still more to come. And there's a Cold Steel 3 and 4. Actually, if this game released and... Is there more? I'm gonna hold off. There might be another cutscene. Oh, Lino Flowers. Dude, this music is so touching. It's hitting me right into the feels. Okay, no, more credits. What was I gonna say? Like, if this game came out and there was no Cold Steel 3, oh, pictures, dude, I love this. Elisa with the rhyme for company. Oh, this is great. But if Cold Steel 3 and 4 weren't out, I would go on the wager to say this could be the final game. This is like a very, very satisfying ending. While it doesn't really leave anything open. Sharon even says that brings everything to a close, which, you know, again, there are unanswered things. But like, part of you could be like, yeah, this could be the end. I'm glad it's not, though, because there's still some things we have to know about. Like, you know, the whole Osborn stuff. Osborn's alive now. We have to know more about that. The Black Workshop we have to know about. So, Cold Steel 2 did such a good job of bringing a conclusion to this chapter while also leaving it open for the future, like Cold Steel 3 and 4. But yeah, dude, the ending was good. This ending was good, not only because the other one was a cliffhanger. Of course, a cliffhanger ending could be, like, suspenseful and you want to see what happens, like Arc the Lab 1. But, Arc the Lab 1's cliffhanger wasn't nearly as bad as Cold Steel 2. As Cold Steel 1. It was bad, but... And by bad, I don't mean bad. I mean, like, it's just hard to wait. Arc the Lab's ending was cliffhanger, but Cold Steel 1's was, like... I cannot imagine having to wait, like, even a month after Cold Steel 1 to play the second game. Going from Cold Steel 1 to 2 back-to-back was the best choice I made. And with this ending, I can actually take a break. This is like the perfect ending to, like, take a break, come back. We're gonna play the Sky games and the Crossbell games before diving into Cold Steel 3 and 4. But, yeah, let's talk about the game itself. The low Luciferi Freya fight, however you say his stupid name, that fight is bad. I hate it. It's stupid, it's pointless. Why would they use a reskin of the first game? I guess I kind of see where they were coming from. They wanted to kind of like harken back to the Class 7, you know, nostalgia because, you know, Class 7 and all, but this kind of feels wasted to use a reskin of another boss in Cold Steel 2. Like, you have this whole epilogue segment, and yeah, it's the old schoolhouse to Reverie Corridor, but like, they really should have made something different for this game. It just feels like wasted potential. But, that fight was bad. It was really annoying, really, really overly difficult, and I hated it. There were some things I didn't like at the Vanishing. Basically, the fight is bad. I'm not going to go much into it. However, the music was really good. It was really bittersweet and sad because Class 7, like, it was like their last mission together, stopping that big entity. Dude, these pictures are really nice. Guy's on his horse, Emma, with Celine in some village, Husis. I think Husis is back in Breahard, probably. Maki said he was gonna go to like a politics school in Heimdall. Oh, Fee's with the bracers. I'm gonna talk about the game, but I really want to watch the pictures too. Sarah, Tova, and Fee, I guess, are all bracers now. That's really neat. Elliot's going to a music academy. I think Gaius, I don't remember what Gaius said he was gonna do other than like defend his homeland or something. I think didn't Gaius want to like travel or something? Milliam with Claire and Altina. Dude, I hope we see more of Altina in 3 and 4, because it really looked like when she was working with Reen and Crossbell in the in Divertisement with against Lloyd and Rishia, it really looked like Altina was like, she wasn't really bad, but it looked like she was like starting to gain a bit of like attachment to Reen. So hopefully we see more of her in Cold Steel 3 and 4. I'm looking forward to it. And there's Reen in the school. Oh man, this game was great. Got some complaints, not big ones, but I do have some things. I'm gonna talk about the game in a minute. I just want to wait until this is done. But yeah, so the ending was really well done. I really liked the scene when they were all crying, when Milliam just shed a tear. Oh, dude, this picture. Oh man, what a great game. What a great game. Classic Fee. And Toa. Even Crow's in that. Oh, what a great game. A phenomenal game. Dude, we gotta leave the picture here. This is the best way to end the playthrough. Thank you for playing Legend of Heroes Cold Steel 2. But while this game may be over, Erebonia's story is not only just begun. Okay, I guess that's a good hint that there's a Cold Steel 3 and 4. Without that, then yeah, I would assume this is the last game. But with a message like that, there is clearly a 3 and 4. Plus, they're released. Can I just, like, save it? Oh, yeah, Winter's End. Give me that gold trophy. Conquering Hero. Oh, I beat the game on Nightmare difficulty. What's this? Oh, clear save data. I guess I'll make it. I'll NG plus this game and try and get the platinum for sure. Dude, this game was great. Phenomenal. But yeah, I'll leave it at the screen. I don't want to go back to the title screen. This seems like the perfect screen to end the playthrough on. But let's talk about it. I started talking about the game with the finale, and then it was like, surprise, you're not done. There's an epilogue. But I'm gonna reiterate everything I said. Music is phenomenal. Falcom game. This game and Ys have great soundtracks. I know Ys is another Falcom game that I look forward to getting to. I heard great things about the soundtrack in it, but Cold Steel is great. So yeah, that's a great time. Let me think what else. Gameplay's fun. More of the same from Cold Steel 1. Overdrives are a neat addition. They're very fun. I feel like this game's just better than the first in every way, in the gameplay and the story and the characters and everything. But not to diminish the first game. The first game did really good building up. That's really what the first game is. Build up for the world of Erebonia. Did a really good job building up and everything. But this game is easily like superior in every single way. But yeah, gameplay's fun. Overdrives are great. The quartz, I love the Lost Arts. Wish I got more of those, but they were also great. Slot, I don't know. I feel like the slot thing is neat, but I don't know. I feel like the slot thing is neat, but it's just way too expensive if you want to use everyone. So I'm not going to say Cold Steel 1 system is better. It's just about the same, but the slot thing did end up getting very expensive. So yeah, gameplay, again, not much to talk about, more of the same, but the gameplay was still fun, and that was great. One thing I didn't like about the gameplay, it really related to the boss fights. While there were a ton of good bosses, anytime you fought, like, Ouroboros members, like Duvalie, McBurn, I don't know if they're considered Ouroboros, but, no, McBurn is, but Duvalie, I don't know if she is. She doesn't have an Anguist number, but, whenever you fought those kind of bosses, it was great. Those bosses were usually great. Crow and Vita. Some other monster fights were good. However, when you fight like all the magic knights and this game just has an affinity for putting like a gimmick on the boss where it uses like a healing move every now and then, and it'll buff its defense and buff its strength. Either defense, strength, or both. And it's just really annoying. Like, I've been doing some experiments. I don't know what triggers the counter, but I think there's some kind of counter. Like, the boss will use the healing move a minimum of, like, 3 to 4 times. I don't know the exact logistics, but there is some kind of counter it's on. But, like, I don't know. I don't really like that. Like, the bosses are already HP sponges, and that's basically a way of saying, like, hey, the boss has even more health than it does. It has, like, hidden HP. And I kind of hate that. I wish it would either be, like, either give it more HP, which that would suck because the bosses are HP spongy enough, or just, like, don't have the healing gimmick. Or just have them do it under certain circumstances. It just felt like sometimes unless you break the game, which isn't easy to do until late game, you really can't prevent it, and I hated it. Again, this is a problem on hard mode. If you're on normal, by the way, I'm going to talk about that, but if you're on normal, this might not be an issue. I was on hard mode. It was a problem for me. I hated it. So, that's my problem with the gameplay. Another thing, difficulty. Hard mode was a good challenge. I enjoyed hard mode. I'm glad I picked hard mode because I feel like normal would have been too easy. If I had trouble, I didn't have, like, crazy trouble, but there were every now and then a boss that I would have trouble on. Like, Crow and Vita, we lost, like, 3 times, but that fight never felt unfair. Again, the healing gimmick is just stupid. The only thing I would nullify against hard mode is the fact that, like, healing gimmick is there. But other than that, everything else was fairly challenging. Not everything was challenging. There were some things that were so easy, but, I'm glad I picked hard because normal would have been too easy because hard, even sometimes hard felt too easy. So, I definitely think these games are on normal a little easy. Again, the first game has a weird difficulty balancing, but this game stayed relatively consistent with difficulty. There hasn't been a time when it went from, like, super hard to super easy. I feel like it was consistently difficult throughout. And that's good. It didn't, like, jump up. You can get, like, difficult little by little. But you shouldn't have it, like, it's really, really easy to really, really hard. You have to have it gradually ooze into that. The first game was, like, hard, like, up in the hard area to easy to, to hard again. And it was back to hard. I don't know. It was all over the place with the first game. Kinda, sort of. I did play on normal, and even so. But the second game is more like, it kind of eases you into that. And again, the healing gimmick's annoying, but other than that, everything else is pretty chill. What else? I love This game I love has a ton of playable characters. Getting to play as like Sharon. I wish we got to play as Toa more, but having her in the Reverie Corridor was neat. The Reverie Corridor was a neat thing. I wish I did more with it, but you know, it was randomly generated. There's not much you could do with it. But having to be able to mess with different team comps was really neat. Basically, the fact that they gave you like Sharon, Claire, Toval, and Toa as playable characters was cool. So having more playable characters was really, really neat. And the first game had, you know, it focused on Class 7, so it didn't really have much in them, but it was neat to have in this game. We have to talk about the story and the characters. I'm gonna meld these together. Kind of, sort of. I briefed on the story at the end of the finale. I'm gonna talk about it again. Story's good. I think the story, itself is like not amazing. It's not the best story ever. However, the events happening in them, this is like a really good. Again, I haven't played the other Cold Steel games or the other Trails games, but this is a really good moment for the Trail series. I feel like there are just so many like climatic moments that are really well done, and I love it. You know, the beginning of the game is chill. Like, you're just not really chill. I don't want to say chill. It's the opposite of chill. The students are separated. Class 7 separated. Reen spends his time trying to gather Class 7, which I think is it's a good way to bring back the characters and like kind of harken back to Cold Steel 1, what that built off of. This game is really just a love layer to Cold Steel 1. Like, if you played Cold Steel 1 and loved it, which I wouldn't say I loved Cold Steel 1, but I do like Cold Steel 1. So Cold Steel 2 is going to have a lot in store for you because it's more of the same, but they expand on what Cold Steel 1 is. I really just think this is, obviously it's the part 2, but I really just think this is a continuation of Cold Steel 1. I think Cold Steel 1 and 2, I read that they were supposed to be one game, but they weren't because of PS Vita limitations. They really are one game. You can't play Cold Steel. Obviously, if you don't like Cold Steel 1, then don't play Cold Steel 2. I'm not trying to say if you beat Cold Steel 1 and hate it, play the second one to change your opinion. Not trying to say that. But if you do like Cold Steel 1, you should definitely try Cold Steel 2. Because, like, Cold Steel 1's just the beginning, and you really have that continuation. So, they just go as one, I feel. But yeah, story's fine. It's good. You know, like an outbreak of a civil war happening. You find out lots of crazy stuff going on. Like, the build up to, like, Osborn being alive is really well done. It's like, oh, his body's not here. No one can find his body. They did that so phenomenal. They also did the rivalry with Crow and Reen really well done as well. I love the way they were like, Reen was like, oh, we're going to bring back Crow. Like, he's going to be part of Class 7. We're not going to kill him. Like, he's our enemy. Like, Crow's betrayal in the first game was just like, so like, I don't care. But then this game gave him a backstory, even though it was a simple one, but it was a backstory nonetheless. They gave him a backstory and they were like, oh, yo, like, we should feel bad for Crow. Like, now it's like, you know, a little more realistic. Cold Steel 2 really bought into his character. And Reen didn't hate Crow. Reen wasn't like, oh, Crow's our enemy, I'm mad at him. Like, Reen is a great character in this game. I felt very meh to Reen in the first game. I felt like Reen was just used as a character motivator, like a plot device to motivate the other characters and develop them. Like, I liked almost all the Class 7 members of the first game, except I didn't even hate Reen. I just thought Reen was like a harem protagonist who just was used to develop the other characters. But this game did Reen better. Like, Reen, you know, Reen, like, doesn't have much to him. He's a harem. But, like, Reen, like, reflecting on things, like, the way Reen reflects on things, like, oh, like, is what he's doing the right thing? Like, the Panda Girl section. I want to point out the Panda Girl section. It was so well done. Getting to talk to, like, Duvali, Zeno, Leo, McBurn, all of them, and Scarlet and Vulcan. Getting to talk to all of them and seeing their sides of the story and why they're, like, the way they are was really good. And seeing Reen, like, connect with them, I guess, on a personal level was really, really good. I just really like Reen in this game. I was like, to Reen. I was like, I don't know about this protagonist in Cold Steel 1. But then Cold Steel 2 changed my opinion completely. I don't think Reen's, like, the best protagonist, but he's good. I do like him as a protagonist. I think he does a really good job. Really good motivator for the other characters. I think the way he reflects on certain things, like, he deals with a lot of morality and choices and, like, what's the right thing to do. When he was on the Pantagruel, he was questioning, like, oh, like, is helping Rufus the right thing, or is doing my things my own way the right thing? Just the way the game paints the picture, yeah, Reen has to go through these tough decisions was really good. And I was a fan of it. I was here for it. So, yeah, Reen was really well done in this game, and the story's more or less the same, really just, like, Green and Class 7's closing chapter, but also not really closing chapter because there's still 2 other games, which I don't know if they're going to focus on these characters. I would hope so. I would hope these characters appear because, you know, they're going to meet again. That'd be wasted if they didn't have these characters. I'd be fine if they wanted to focus on new characters for the next game for Cold Steel 3, but these characters have to appear. They just have to. So, yeah, story was very much like, you know, Fine Class 7, pretty good, getting the Harken back. Pantagruel was amazing. Getting all those amazing moments on the Pantagruel and Green wanting to rescue Alphen and all that, and rescue Elise and all that. Liberating certain parts of Erebonia was also neat. I do love the Courageous. I love how it was functioned. I love how you got to go around Erebonia and liberate different parts of the place and take them back. It was really, really good. Also, I do love how every region got their moment. Like Elisa, there was the rower section where we got to I don't like Irina, but I'll talk about this actually when I talk about Elisa. But the moments were really good, the operations were good, just everything. And Cold Steel 2 did a good job of making me care for the villains. So there's that. And yeah, also another thing with the story is I really like, again, I never played Azure, but I have gotten confirmation that playing Azure and Crossbell gives you a new experience, because this game happens concurrently with Azure, with the Azure tree and everything. So I really can't wait to play the Crossbell games, because I want to see how this melds in with Cold Steel 2. I want to like put the pieces together and like get a overall like a more expanded horizon like of what's happening. It's just like getting invested in the world of Zemuria even more. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, I think the story's like it's good. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's good. I really just think the characters are the strong suits. I'm going to talk about the characters for a minute. I am pretty hungry because I had to stream before this, so I'm going to make this quick. But I want to give them justice. I talked about Reen. I just like Reen. I like the way he goes through tough times and has to deal with it, and he motivates the other characters. He more or less is the same as Cold Steel 1, but they expand on him. And his relationship with Valimar and as an Ashen Awakener is really good. His rivalry with Crow is really good, so it's really nice. Elisa. I like Elisa. Elisa's good. I really like, you know, she's like, I know she's like the canon waifu. I don't really like how the game kind of forces you to, obviously it doesn't force you. You can romance whoever you want, but the game kind of throws Elisa at you to like romance her. It's very clear that Elisa is the only canon waifu. I kind of wish it was more like Persona, where you can choose your character, but I guess I could see why they went that route. But I don't know if I really like, she's great, but I don't really know if I like that they force her down your throat, kind of. So, yeah, there's that. But Elisa herself is good. Again, in the first game I didn't like her. In the first like 5 hours I didn't like her, but then she grew on me, and I really like her whole arc with independence and self-discovery, like wanting to take over the Reinford company, but wanting to like not do things her mother's way. And she lived a pretty tragic backstory because she was not royalty, she was not like a noble or a commoner, so she was somewhere in between. And you know, her father died and her mother changed, and basically was a bitch the whole time. But the way Elisa does things is nice. I really like the concept of Elisa being like, oh, don't, like, you know, actions speak louder than words. Like, Elisa has to prove it to her, and that's what Elisa does. And Elisa does really good with her character arc. I like it. It's, like, not deep, but it's good. It's really well done. Who next? Gaius? Look, I like Gaius. I do. I just feel like the Cold Steel 1 did not do him justice. Cold Steel 2 did a little better with him, but not really. I really hope Cold Steel 3 and 4 flesh out Gaius more. All there is to Gaius is the fact that he defends the North Highlands, and that's good, but that's like a base. You really need something further than that. I feel like Gaius didn't have much going for him later on, which is unfortunate, because I think Gaius is a genuinely really cool dude. But, like, they just don't give him much background and attention, which is unfortunate. But Gaius is cool, you know. I think he's really cool and wise about things, so... And he's just passionate about his home. I think that's fine. Like, don't take that away. Just add more, I feel. But yeah, other than Gaius being best boy, that's all I have to say about him. Who next? We'll talk about Husis. I like Husis. Husis is good. He's probably like a mid to low tier class 7 member. I think that's fair. But I do think they did better with Husis in this game. I feel like the first game really didn't do much. It was really just her base as a character. But I really did like Husis in this game. I feel like more in the first game. The first game, he probably would have been like my second least favorite Class 7 member. But Husis in this game was interesting because like the thing with Husis was he's a noble, and since Rufus and Duke Alberea were both like villains, he was expected to go down that same route, but then he chose his own path on his own, which I think was really good. And you know, that duel with Reen, I really liked the duel he had with Reen. I think that was really, really good. And it really set Husis, and Reen was, again, Reen uses a plot device, but again, Reen isn't only a plot device in this game, but Husis was really well done in that respect. I did like some of Husis's moments in this game. Machias, I like Machias. I think Machias is one of my favorite Class 7 members. He has a really tragic backstory of like why he hates the nobles. I think it's very, very understandable. And I think what else to say about my boy Machias. But yeah, can't think of anything. Wow, this is embarrassing. But Machias is great. I really like Machias. I can't think of a standout moment necessarily, but Machias is just really really good to have as like a stand-up guy and just says it like it is. I really appreciate his I just feel like Machias is like so relatable. Very similar to how I rank Zack in Crisis Core. I just really think Machias is like someone just like, he's not like anyone extraordinary. He doesn't have other than his backstory, he doesn't have like, kind of like how I said Crow's backstory is simple. Like, he doesn't have any deep character traits, but that's what I like about him. He's just a stand-up guy, I guess. Like, he's just like, you know, he could be really funny, and like, I just really think that he doesn't have much to him, and he's not that deep. Of course, you want some characters that are a little deeper, but like, having Machias just be that person that's like not that, like, may not seem that deep is pretty good. So, I like Machias for that. He fills that role well. Laura's good. I think other than training, there's not really much to Laura. But Laura had some stuff going on with Duvalie going on, because like they had a rivalry of sorts, and I think the Steel Maiden's gonna make a return at some point, because they were talking about Duvalie's leader being the Steel Maiden. So I look forward to seeing what they do with that. But Laura's good. I do like Laura. Fee, I like Fee a lot. I think Fee's another one of my favorites, because I like Fee. Her whole connection with Zephyr, and how like the boss abandoned her and stuff, and found her and then abandoned her, and then Xeno and Leo abandoned her too, and Class 7's like her family. I really like that concept. So Fee went from a really good character development from the first game to the second game. That was really, really well done. Elliot's one of my least favorites as well. I think other than music, there's not really much to him. However, I don't dislike Elliot. I just think Elliot's like, again, very similar to Gaius. Like, you have that base, but you need more to that. Like, Elliot had some moments, but like, once you have a base, you really need to build off of that. They really should have built off what Elliot was. So I think other than the fact that he's a musician and he plays music, there's not much to Elliot. However, I do like that, like, Elliot's father's like this general, General Olaf Craig, and like how he's expected to act one way, but he follows his passion in music. So Elliot has some nice beats going on. But again, it really is just like Gaius, where you need that further character investment. So, you know, there's that. Who else am I missing? Sarah, Emma, and Milliam. Yeah. Emma did really well in this game. Emma in the first game was a waifu, but other than that, she was very suspicious, and there really wasn't much to Emma. They literally did not touch on Emma at all. But in this game, it's revealed that she's a witch. Like, what? She's a witch, and she has her familiar Celine, and she knows about all the paranormal stuff happening. That is wild. So they did good with Emma. Emma got a lot of screen time in this game. And Vita, I'll talk about Vita as I talk about Emma, but Emma, like, having this whole thing, like, she wants to, like, you know, not find Vita, but Vita's missing now, so I want to see what's up with that. But, how Emma wants to, like, you know, how Emma had this relationship with Vita and stuff like that was really, really good. How they connected those two characters. Brianna's dying, I'm still sad about. I wish Celine would die. No offense to Celine. Like, I think Celine's one of the worst characters. But if it had to be a familiar, why couldn't Celine die? Why Grianos? Why'd you have to kill the bird? But anyway, Emma was good. They gave her more screen time, which is really what she needed, and that was good. Who else? Who else am I missing? Milliam. Millium's good. I just feel like Millium, like, I didn't really like Millium that much in the first game. I felt like, oh, she's a spy, like part of the intelligence division, but she's like a child, not taking things seriously. This game did better with her, for sure, but they had some stuff going on where she's like Altina's sister, apparently, and she's like, apparently something with the Black Workshop might tie into them, and like, the moment where she was crying at the end of Class 7 was really good. I think I like Millium towards the end. Millium's better in this game, because like, Millium was with the intelligence division. I really like what they did with her, in like the fact that like, oh, she was on this mission. The very ending said it, where like, I was on this mission, yet I'm crying. So she really enjoyed her time with Class 7. So, Millium's good. But like at the end, it really just reels in. Like, I feel like her character moments come at towards the end, like the Black Workshop and the very ending. Which, again, that's not a bad thing. You have so many characters, you have to spread them out. So, Millium's good. I think Millium's good. I definitely think Millium would have been fine without that moment, but that moment just gives Millium more time to shine, and I hope we get more of her in the 3rd and 4th game. Sarah easily has also grown on me a lot. Sarah was a love-hate relationship in Cold Steel 1. I definitely think Sarah was like, sometimes I hated her, sometimes she actually said something really funny. This game fleshed her out really well. She was actually a Jaeger, so that was a really neat backstory they gave her about the Northern Jaegers and all that. And was she from Northumbria? I think it was called Northumbria. I don't remember. But the Jaegers basically, and it did so well, her backstory and why she drinks and why she is the way she is. That was really well done. And even she was crying at the end of being their teacher. That was really well done. I just really thought the ending was so bittersweet, because everyone acknowledged their time together. They've been through so much. It was just so good. But I want to talk about a few other characters. George, George is kind of there. Not much to say about him. Toa is adorable. I love her moment of having to be the captain, and she has to, like, live up to everything, and she's the student council president, so that's really good. Crow, again, they made me care about Crow more, which was good. Angelica grew on me. Angelica was just like, oh, she likes girls. But other than that, like, they grew on me with Angelica a bit. Her moment with, Ragnar, with, the Duke Ragnar was really, really good. Trying to think what else. Nightheart is awesome as always. I really like Nightheart. Few others. But yeah, I really just think Cold Steel does really good with its characters. Like, the characters aren't deep, but they're somehow very endearing. And it's just like, I really like the way it does its characters. And like, the way Falcom writes these games is so above the rest. Like, this game is written in such a way that is so different. I can't really describe it. But, like, the way they do their twist and the way they write the games, I could just kind of see it. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe someone in the comments watching this video will answer my question about Falcom, but I can't put my finger on it. But, like, the way Falcom writes this game, I gotta give him credit. Like, the characters may not be super deep as in other games, but, like, they're good. They're really, really good. And I'm sure there's more that I missed, like NPC dialogue, or, like, I didn't 100% the game, so there could be stuff I'm forgetting or missing, but, like, the way they write this game is, like, they put so much love and care into the Cold Steel games with all the character notes and stuff and the NPC dialogue. I gotta appreciate them. I didn't experience it all in this playthrough, but I gotta give them credit where credit is due. I just have to give them credit. Basically, Falcom, thank you. This may not be my favorite game ever, and this may not even be in my top 15 or top 20, but this is a really, really good game, and I give you credit for making Cold Steel 1 and 2, and tons of other Trails games that I haven't even played yet. Thank you, Falcom. Just thank you so much. Like, the way you write these games, I give you credit. Like, if I were to choose a game that is really well written and a game that is just has a lot of care put into it, I would choose just the Trails series. They just have so much care. I would assume the other games have just as much care put into them. I could just see their efforts. I can't really describe it further than that. I could just see their efforts. Like, I see the effort they put into these games, and while they're not perfect games, they do so well with what they have, and they're not like a AAA studio like like Final Fantasy, or like not Pokemon, like Final Fantasy or anything like that. They do well with what they have, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much, Falcom. I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough. I greatly enjoyed the game. And, yeah, I greatly enjoyed this playthrough. It was great. We're going to take a break before we go to Trails in the Sky. But I do want to play Trails in the Sky, the Crossbell games, and Cold Steel 3 and 4 eventually, for sure. So I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough. I greatly, greatly did. And it's been a great time. I will definitely platinum this game on my own time. Like, I really want to go back and NG plus it. But yeah, it's been such a great journey. I enjoyed going through Class 7's adventures yet again from Cold Steel 1 and 2. Because we played Cold Steel 1 and 2 back to back. So if you really think about this, if these games were supposed to be like fun, this was like as long as Persona 5 Royal. 60 hours plus like 70 hours, right? No, 60 hours plus like 65 hours. So yeah, dude, that's like 120 hours. That's almost equivalent to a Persona 5 Royal playthrough. So, I don't know. Dude, Cold Steel 1 and 2, great games. Cold Steel 2, phenomenal game. How about this? Cold Steel 1, great game. Cold Steel 2, phenomenal game. Cold Steel 1's only great because it builds up the world really well and the characters really well. Cold Steel 2 is phenomenal because it makes the payoff worth it. This was just such a great game. I'm glad I did this playthrough. I'll be back with Trails in the Sky and the Crossbell games and Cold Steel 3 and 4, as I said. So I hope you all look forward to more Trails games to come. And I'll play, I know they're making like a Trails of Reverie game. Hopefully I'm done. I should be done with all the Trails games by the time that comes out. And I'll probably be able to play that when it's localized. So I am a Trails fan now. I look forward to playing all the other games and seeing how everything got started and seeing how things are experienced from a new perspective. I just look forward to it. So I hope you all enjoyed the playthrough. I greatly enjoyed making it, and I'll be back for Trails in the Sky sometime next year. I don't know. I'm going to take a little break and get some other playthroughs done. But Trails in the Sky will be next on the Kiseki series, as some people call it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching the playthrough, and I will see you all next time.